Hello YouTube and or Facebook. This is Golden Jace, Eric, back from a relatively large hiatus. Doesn't matter. We're back. I'm gonna be trying to use this webcam to see if it will function as a camera. I know the other one had some issues uploading videos at times as well. I'm coming back talking some more gaming. I want to talk about Titanfall because, as everybody knows here on YouTube, that I am actually a gamer at heart, FPS player, RTS player, strategy player. Um, and so the first thing I wanted to talk about was I was going to make like class videos like I used to, and I was going to take suggestions for class setup as well for Titanfall. But they recently made an update, a balancing update, as well as they were fixing a couple of bugs. So before I started releasing, I already made the first one, so unfortunately that's going to be before the bug. But before I made those class videos, I wanted to make a little bit of a video about the balancing that they did, and a video prefacing the class videos. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, which I have the website up right actually here, www.titanfall.com/game-update-4 !SF277092119 equals 1. For those of you that don't know, their latest update is featuring a new game mode. Featured game modes into their rotation, Mark for Death, Titan burn cards. They're introducing burn cards for Titans, which is interesting. We'll see how that goes. Insignias, things like that. They said they're making improvements to matchmaking. So we'll see. Different OS voices, which some people I guess were asking about. And challenge tracker, lobby music, auto Titans. Auto Titans will now use all of their abilities, thank goodness, without guardianship. If you equip smoke, it will use smoke. If you equip particle wall, it will deploy the wall by itself. They're increasing the number of burn cards you can use. Now this is interesting because some players say they don't really use burn cards, and other players say they wish they had more space for burn cards. The current deck max size is 26. They said they're increasing the non-regenerated deck size to 46. They're also increasing the number of burn card deck limits depending on your gen level. For example, a gen 10 has 100, the 0 gen has 46. It increases by 6 every new generation. New movement, drift, guard, gamepad setting, and options. I'm not quite sure what that is going to be, but bug fixes. Don't care. This is mostly going to be about the balancing on platforms. They said they've made a few changes to pilot weapons and Big Punch to ensure proper balance. Some weapons like Hemlock were barely being used, while other weapons were overpowered. Update number 1, satchels. They said satchel damage has been reduced against pilots only. They will still kill a pilot caught close to the center of the explosion, but fall off is more severe now, allowing pilots that are far away from satchels to survive. Honestly, satchels were pretty OP, so that makes sense. If you're accurate with your satchels, you're gonna get the kill, or you're gonna at least really damage them, and that makes sense. Before it felt like satchels just killed anybody, no matter where, how far away. I killed somebody in the air after we were ejecting, so just to give you an idea. The shotgun does less damage at mid-range because it was proving to, quote, be able to win fights that it should lose when at this range. Honestly, again, the shotgun did kill people pretty far away. I understand this is the future and that shotguns maybe should kill people at that far away, but as far as balancing is concerned, people shouldn't be losing the firefight against the shotgun when they're like really extremely far away. The 101 carbine. This weapon was designed to be an all-purpose weapon, and it did that too well. Quote, we slightly adjusted it to make it a bit more uncomfortable to handle and hit targets at long distances. End quote. So they're increasing the kick, and they're reducing the mag size for the carbine. They didn't say that they released the damage at long range, they just said they increased the kick. And honestly, I thought the carbine was amazing, so I guess ultimately we'll see if the kick is negligible, or if the kick is enough for us to really be thinking to ourselves, okay, the 101 is no longer a long-range weapon, and people are going to have to pack the DMR or the Kraber. The R97 was pretty much inferior to the car, they said. They've upped the rate of fire to make it more able of handling up close fights better. It also has the fastest time into ADS, so now the biggest change is that it does a lot more damage than it did when rodeoing, making it a better choice for pilots who enjoy taking on a Titan. They increased the ability of the Hemlock. They said they've made it so that it's never more than 4 bullets to drop an enemy, and it used to be 5 at long range. It'll also kick less when fired. So for those of you thinking you want an M16 style of play, like the Hemlock, I thought the Hemlock was really good. So I don't know what people were complaining about. They increased the strength of amped Hemlock. Who cares? They increased the strength of several amped weapons, but I mean they're amped, so yeah, you're gonna get the kill with it. The G2 now kills pilots with 3 shots. Always. It used to take 4. Yeah, I haven't used the G2, so I couldn't tell you. The field of vision while ADSing in the railgun has been pulled back to allow players to keep more of the surroundings in focus. And finally, the big one that everyone would probably be waiting for is Big Punch. They're taking a look at the complaints. Apparently there were complaints about the Big Punch kit and decided to adjust it. It was especially problematic, quote, when an ogre was dealing the punch. It did enough damage to destroy the shields of a Strider and still do a chunk of damage to the Strider's permanent health, end quote. Apparently there's also a complaint here that Big Punch was being used by ogres to move more quickly than the ogre could normally move, and that's true. As such, they decided to weaken Big Punch's effect significantly when taken as an ogre. Now this is interesting, because I thought Big Punch was just ridiculous in general. You know, it doesn't really make a difference to me whether I'm using Big Punch. The abilities in that tier never for me were really that strong, except like maybe Tactical or Ordnance Reactor, or you know, Quick Loader or whatever. But who really, I mean, other than, I don't remember if Auto Eject is in that tier. I don't really recall, but I don't know why you wouldn't take Big Punch. You know, Big Punch so far, especially to be fair, in an ogre, I thought Big Punch was pretty ridiculous. That's why I ran it on everything. But leaving Big Punch the same on the Atlas and the Strider, I'm not sure if that's going to be so much a balancing, so much as it is just removing something from a class that was pretty overpowered as it is, and just making something else overpowered. I figure if you were going to nerf Big Punch, you would just nerf it for everything, you know, so that nothing has that ability. But then someone might make the argument that you shouldn't have Big Punch in the game at all. So I guess it depends. I guess we'll see if it's really that big of a detriment to the ogre. All I know is maybe I'm gonna have to reconsider myself using Big Punch on everything. But there's not very much else for me to put on these classes. That's the truth. There's really not very much else. The first video that I made for these Titanfall class setups, experimental classes, is sniping, and I already performed my first 10 matches with the Kraber AP sniper rifle. Thank God, lots of the adjustments that they made to the game don't actually, you know, fit in. But my Titan class will be the same throughout all of them, and it will most likely be the ogre. Thanks for watching this update. I'll come at you guys with the sniping video next, and I'll see you guys later.